Thanks for tuning in once again. I'm joined again this week with Brad Wendes from Team Kinetics, Parkour club owner, and really excited again about the content. This is our fourth session together, and the aims today are to build on what you'd have seen. Some of you maybe last Friday in session 3. Some of you may have caught that on Tuesday when it was posted on social media again. So we're building on that from session 3, where we're going to gamify. And what I mean by that, we're going to turn a lot of those movement patterns and challenges into versions of games that you can try at home. So making it competitive and all the while quite fun, I'd imagine. Well, certainly from my end, it's going to be a lot of fun trying to do these with Brad. Just a word on Brad. For anyone that's not seen this, do check out. He was on season 4 for Ninja Warrior, the TV series, which basically, you know, is anyone that's still not quite sure what parkour is. The skills that you can gain and the movement capabilities. If you check out Ninja Warrior, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. And those abilities, you know, we're starting here with these fundamental movement skills that you can build upon. And I'm not saying necessarily everyone's going to go on and progress into being able to compete on Ninja Warrior, but, you know, credit to Brad, because very, very impressive stuff. And if you can tap into some of that, then that's great. I mean, it's going to really, really contribute to your capabilities as an athlete. Okay, so Brad, what have you got lined up for us today?
Well, got a nice little warm up for us. We're going to do some starting with some acceleration. So we're going to start from laying down position, standing up like we've done before, and we're going to run around a marker and then back to where we started. And we'll try and make it roughly even for you and I. I know we're distant at the moment, but if we say that the marker we're going to run around is going to be one long stride of yours from where your head is laying on the floor, if that makes sense. So if I were to...
Right, well, show me and I'll...
Yep. And now I'm going to take a big stride, and that's where my head's going to be.
Right, okay. Let me get that set up then.
Okay. You see this? So I've got my marker here that I'm going to run around.
Right. One.
Okay. So you're going to take a big stride.
There, yeah. Okay.
And now we're going to lay down on your belly.
Onto the chest, yeah.
And I'm going to... Yeah. Cool. I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
And then we're going to stand up as quick as you can, get round the bottle and lay back down where you started and see if you can get there the quickest.
Right. I'm going to trust that you're not going to cheat me here.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go! How's that? I didn't even see.
It's hard to gauge. I think I won.
I think I called that on the draw. That was quick.
I think I won. Yeah, that was good. That was good fun. So, yeah, talk to us about what's going on there, Brad.
Well, we're trying to get up. It's going to be from a slightly different position every time. So once again, make it transferable to the game, because you're not always going to start from exactly the same position. So getting up from the ground, you might be able to get your feet further under you, or you might find that you'll be able to start like a sprinter. So by getting your feet not quite as far forward and pushing forwards, getting around the cone, we could make that a little bit further away. But it should be relative for everyone, because if it's one long stride of your stride, and it's my stride, it should even up a little bit, so shorter people won't be at a disadvantage. But maybe, we'll see. Okay,
yeah. So something I wanted to add to that, you know, you're talking there about acceleration from different positions. For a basketball player, you know, it's not necessarily the case that they'll be getting up from the floor. Might happen, but generally speaking, you're not necessarily going to be starting in a position we were there. However, the key thing to note, we're trying to build a massive movement vocabulary for you, so you can use things when you need them. But also, not only that, by getting used to starting in different positions, it doesn't really matter where you start. We can call these scramble starts. It's about what you then do afterwards. So once you're on your feet, how do you then get yourself moving forward? And of course, we've got that turn, that change of direction, which is so important, so vital for basketball. So yeah, don't think it has to look exactly like the game. There's a purpose behind it, and actually this is just making it more of a challenge to get yourself into a really good position to accelerate. Okay, so
absolutely,
let's
reactive athlete.
Yeah, for sure. So we could try that a different way. Okay, so yep. I'll lead on this one now, Brad. So we'll go the other way around your bottle, so same distance from it. Okay, and Okay, and rather than being on your chest, facing that bottle, you're going to be on your knees, okay, facing away. All right,
Okay.
so however you decide you want to get to your feet, get yourself around that bottle, the other direction, the other way around this time, that's over to you.
Okay.
So I'll call, just go. I won't say 3, 2, 1. All right, so you got to really react. And then it's finish in this same position on your knees, facing away. Okay. Go. Oh, slipped. I think I won that one again, Brad.
That's hard, yeah.
I skidded along. But okay, good. So again, it's about accelerating out these positions. So it doesn't matter where you start, come up with your own conditions, your own rules, your own positions, and just mess around with making this as challenging as possible and as competitive and fun as it can be. Okay, good stuff. So that's our first one.
Really, if you wanted to make that really relevant for basketball, we won't do it, but you could even do a jump land, because a lot of basketball players will be jumping, landing, then starting to move. So
absolutely,
again,
so any number of ways that you can think of, throw them into the mix, and it's about what you then do afterwards to accelerate and get around that cone and win the race. Okay, good stuff. So moving on.
Well, since you mentioned Ninja Warrior, maybe we'll move on to that one first or next. If anyone is interested in the Ninja Warrior side of things, I won't plug it too much, but if you just search my name and Ninja Warrior on YouTube, it's on there and you can see it. And the first obstacle is always those floating steps where you jump from side to side. So we're going to do a drill like that, and we're going to do 4 big steps, jumping from foot to foot. We're going to do it in my pace. So we're going to have to be in control the whole time. So when you land, you're going to have to be in balance because you don't know how long you're going to hold it for. So I'm going to say jump each time. Okay, so we're going to go, just watch for a moment. We're going to go from here. Right. Jump, 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 jump. So it'll be in my timing, just 4 of those.
Okay.
Going from foot to foot and holding your balance.
Right, so I'm going to do that. I'm doing that. Are you doing it with me, or it's just myself?
I'll do some calling, but yeah, we'll do it together. So you ready?
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So just 1 second there, Brad. Just so I can. There we go. Right.
Nice. We'll start. It doesn't matter which foot we start on because we're going to do 2 on each. And the first time I say jump, you're going to take off and land on 1 foot. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. Jump, 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 jump. Good. Nice. Now, what we can do with that is we can make them... Sorry?
I was just going to say, landing there is on the ball of your foot, so the front part of your foot, not the heel.
Yeah, let's see if you can see this. From there.
Okay.
So landing the ball of the foot, absorbing and bending the knees, and you need your weight to be over your foot, because if you land like that, you're going to fall straight away. So you still need to get your weight over that foot when you land.
Okay.
So fancy go those?
Let's have a go. So you're in charge of the tempo, right?
Yeah, let's give it a go. You ready?
Yep.
Jump. 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 Jump.
Okay, nice. Good. So, yeah, so with that in mind, again, if we're relating that to basketball and to any sport, really, having control over your body, there's times where you need to be reactive, you're going to land, you're going to then need to propel yourself into a new direction. There's other times where you're going to want to absorb that landing, and maybe it's a longer period of time that you'll be in that position for. So either way, you're equipped. You can deal with each scenario you face. Okay, I like that one.
You can make them a bit wider or a bit longer. You could set a set distance that you want to cover, so that you're not just jumping straight side to side. Lots of variations of this. Or you could race each other if you've got a bit of space, and just have someone else do the calling. Or there's lots of ways of doing it.
Okay, so can I try one, Brad, with you? So if we go back into that position there, so same thing, but this time rather than traveling forwards or diagonally forwards, we're just going to go side to side. So I don't know if you need to adjust where you stood there. Okay, so I'll be in charge of the tempo now, and I want to really work on sticking and holding that position. I might struggle with this myself, but I'm going to try and challenge Brad to see if I can stick it and he'll lose his foot or his non-weight bearing foot, and then I win that bounce. Okay, so whichever way you want to go, we could mirror, but doesn't matter. So I'm going left leg to right to start with. Okay, if that makes it easier for you. Okay, ready? Jump. Jump. He's a lot better than me at sticking. Jump. He's kidding. He was far better than me there. So, yeah, you know, I'm just watching you there as you land, Brad, and it's effortless. You know, you just stick, and it doesn't look like there's any chance in hell that you're going to, you know, lose your balance there. Whereas I'm in charge of that, and I'm all over the show. So, yeah, these are the things. As I mentioned
earlier, I'm fortunate enough to have access to my own gym equipment. I did some heavy squats today, so I'm a little bit wobbly. But actually, this brings us on nicely to, we'll talk a little bit about that balance, just a tiny little pointer on that. And then we'll get on to our quiet landing drill, which is very similar to what we just did. So whenever we want to stay in balance, we want to keep all of our body, our mass, over our base of support. I know I've said this a few times, it's really worth mentioning. So if I'm standing on 2 feet, all of my weight is between my base of support, it's there. If I want to stand on one leg, I've got to shift myself over that leg and lift the other one up.
Yep.
If I just lift one leg up, I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
So you have to keep all of your weight above whatever's on the floor. And if that's a very small thing on the floor, you use your weight straight above that. So when we're jumping side to side, you've got to get your weight over that foot. Otherwise you'll fall. And bending the knees, absorbing, which brings on to our quiet landings. This is a lovely one for control, really good one for building those muscles. Like we spoke about last week, about bulletproofing your limbs, bulletproofing your ankles so that you are robust, preventing injury, but also making you a reactive athlete so you can respond to anything thrown at you. We're going to see if we can jump as high as you can, landing on the balls of your feet, bending your knees, and landing as quietly as possible. So we're using our legs like shock absorbers in a car to absorb it. When we jumped before, remember, we weren't bending here because that's going to take us forwards. We want to keep our body upright and bend here. So once again, all of my weight is above my feet, which are on the floor. So let's see if you can have a look at the feet. So from here, I'm going to go and jump. And I hope that was quiet. I hope I didn't make a big thudding noise, but by landing on the balls of my feet and bending my knees, I can try and land as quietly as possible. And what we'll do is you could jump, I'll jump, then you jump, so you can land quietest. If it's quite a close drill, you could then jump forwards or jump to the side, or you could even have someone say forwards, backwards, left, right, etc., to make it more challenging. Okay. So let's have a listen to you jump. You can go on the
so you landed quite deep there into like a squat position, and you're saying that should be encouraged in this exercise, yeah?
In this drill, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let me just angle that so you can see a little bit better. So as high as I can, right?
As high as you can, yeah. You see.
A little bit wobbly there. So let's try that again.
And like a lot of people, you put the brakes on. Just travel a little bit further. Keep your chest up, bend your knees, and use that full range of motion.
Okay.
All right, off you go. Better. And now this is no criticism, because you're a guy who spent a lot of time in the gym. You've done a lot of S&C. You've got loads of experience of those movement patterns, and that's what we see. You've got a tendency to put your heel down, and then in order to get your weight low, you've got to do this.
Yeah.
What we want to do is come down to my feet, put those heels up, so we can come straight down to here. So my body is above my feet.
Right, let me try that again.
Otherwise, you look like this. That's it. So really lift those heels and then sit down on your heels.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you ready? Better. There you go. You started to tip forward, but recovered it, and now you're in balance. Well done.
I've definitely had my heels raised there, but no one can see that, so I'll do that once more.
All right.
Okay. Oh, that was a rubbish one. That was a rubbish rotation. Okay. Yeah. What you're saying there.
Yeah, it's good to know the difference, because when we're doing a solid squat pattern, we want our heels down. We want to be loading up our posterior chain, but we're working the backs of our legs.
Yeah.
But when we're sprinting, when we're running, and when we're absorbing on the court, you're generally going to be on the ball of your foot more, and it's going to be putting a lot of load on the front of the legs. So drills like this are quite transferable to any sport that involves running and jumping.
Yeah, and
that doesn't mean to say we shouldn't be doing it squats, but
no, absolutely. And this is the whole point. We want to do and work on all of those skills, like we said last week. And something you said there, it's a skill, and clearly I've not spent any time on these things. And if I do spend some time on it, and it is a challenge, and I'm already like that sense of competitiveness. I want to improve on that. So, the key message there is these things can be improved. They just take some time, and make it fun, make it enjoyable. But if you concentrate on these things, they're skills that you can gain quite easily as well, or quite quickly anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, great stuff. Where we going next? I'm not going. I'll go back to that one when I'm off camera, I think.
Okay. The split squat that we did last week. So that was a bit of an exercise last week, but as we discussed, we can make a little bit of a game out of this. So we're going to have a back foot raised, front heel off the ground in our split squat position. We're going to go down to the bottom of that, and then I'll lead, then you can lead the second time, moving a weight around and seeing if you can hold your balance.
Okay.
So I've got our bottle of water. Let's see how we get on with this. I've got back foot up, heel off the ground.
Yeah.
You go down to the bottom, and we're just going to start off taking it out the front and see if you can switch it around. And from there, once again, all the way out to that side, and coming up overhead. How's your balance?
I'm all right at the moment.
A bit wobbly today. And into your chest, straight up. And out to one side. That's on the, that's it, that's the leg that's forwards. Now to the front. Here. All right, relax there, because I think we're both going to hold this a while. I think you'll find that young athletes might not be able to hold for quite as long, but I think the two of us have spent a lot of time in a lunge position.
Yeah,
what we could do is
the previous. Go on.
We could go up and down and then do a position and take it in turns, deciding the position, and hold it for the count of 3. I think that's going to be a little bit more challenging. So you're adding the split squat in between each position. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And another one that you can do if you're at home, parents can get involved in this one. Brad, I'll get you to do it because, well, okay. I'll set up here. No, sorry, Brad, I'll get you to be the coach, and you're going to challenge me now. So I'm in this position here. You'll move your hand, and I've got to essentially tap your hand with the bottle. So I'll be reactive to where you're going.
So we go out to the side.
Yep.
And over here. And up there. That's good. Down there.
Yep.
I think the down ones will probably be a bit tougher.
Yep.
Up here.
One hand
Anything
or two.
out to the side.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, I'm still standing. Come on, speed it up. Make it challenge.
All right, over here.
Here we go.
And then right out to the side.
Oh, that's it. You got me. You got me there. Okay. Right.
That's
so
great. Love that one.
Yeah, and that one there, it's that sudden quick movement where you're in that position, you're stable, and then suddenly it's challenged. You've had to move, or I've moved there, my arm, and I've had to battle against that momentum that my arm's created to really lock in that position. So all the while we're challenging those positions, those postures that are really, really vital that we want to build. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty out of breath there as well. So yeah, that was on all levels. Okay, I think we've got one more.
As you found, slowly moving into position is a little bit easier.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we can do the same game, but instead of being in that position, we'll be in, let's see, I'll move my camera. So we'll be on one leg, all of the foot. And what we did last week was went all the way down and all the way up. So instead of doing that, we'll hold at the bottom and see if we can then make those shapes.
Right.
And see if we can hold your balance.
Okay. Yeah. So this is now ninja territory, right? This is this is tough.
Heel up.
Yeah.
We'll do this one without any weight as well. So.
Right. Let's give this a go. So initially, I just want to make it to the bottom with my heel.
All the way down to the bottom.
There we go. Oh.
Let's do both hands up.
Yeah, you got me. You won. You won that effort. So clearly, working with someone at my level, it might just be that the challenge is, can you get up and down 3 times? If you can, and you can hold it confidently, competently, then you can throw these other things in. So yeah.
That one's not really fair here, because I spend a lot of time in that position, like a lot of time, so I'm quite comfortable and used to it. Whereas if it's something you're just learning, you don't really know how much change it can make, just those little tiny movements.
Absolutely. But, you know, these are things, I think, an area that is probably untapped by a lot of people. So, you know, you've mentioned a number of times when we've been on here together about strength training, S&C training, but this is movement training, and you know, that is getting you stronger, that is challenging you to be strong in a real functional way. And what I mean by that is in a way that's going to carry over and offer you what you need when it comes to it in a game. And so, you know, it's a really, really vital component to build and spend time on, especially now. For you children at home, this is a really, really vital window of time to spend developing these skills, because they're things that they won't just happen. And when you start to grow and your limbs get a lot longer, when you go through your growth spurt, that period there, it'll be much harder to acquire some of these skills. So before that period of time, if you can really spend time developing these things, and it'll pay forward.
Yeah. Well, something that we say to our students, the analogy we use is, you know, strength is great. I do a lot of strength training myself. I'm a big advocate of strength training, but Ferraris also have good suspension and good brakes. There's no point in having all that power if you can't control it. So doing things like this, agility training, is really important, really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Great message. And yeah, I think, you know, everything that we've covered over the last, 4 sessions it is now, so relevant for, you know, it's down as being under 10s, but any athlete, any age, to spend time on these things. And they're challenging, but they're not that taxing, as in you won't necessarily feel sore or beat up from doing them. So you can get repetitions in, you can do these frequently. And, you know, it's so vital, as we've just discussed there. So, you know, it works on all levels, and, you know, and, you know, in my mind, we've spoken at length about this with some of the other resources that have gone out, and the other staff involved with the sports science and medicine team. You know, spend time on these movement skills in warm-ups, because there's your opportunity to do this frequently. And that's where you'll start to accumulate and become better at these skills. So take the opportunity when it's there. Right.
And
so
I hope that these will also be fun. I hope people who enjoy these as well and just want to go and do them.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, like if you are at home and you've got siblings or other people there, and you've got a ball that you can use, get into some of these positions and bring a ball into play. So bounce passing to each other, or, you know, just passing between each other when you are in the bottom of a squat or you're in a hip hinge position. And again, it's just challenging you to be stable, to be balanced, to have coordination, and all of that stuff will transfer. All of that stuff will make a difference. And importantly, like I've said just then, when you do grow and you go through that period, when you hit adolescence and you really do start to grow, your limbs are very long. As a result, these things will put you in good stead as you come through that period. So yeah, great stuff. And I thank you, Brad, for once again giving up your time and sharing your insights. And honestly, check out Ninja Warrior Series 4 if you YouTube it. I just came across it last week actually, and yeah, that's why it was at the forefront of my mind to mention it tonight. And it's impressive stuff.
And repeat on last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's truly impressive stuff. So yeah, go be a ninja and get practicing some of these skills. It'll put you in a great place. Okay, thanks once again for joining, and thanks to Brad again.